One of the interesting growth engines that I want to share with you today is AI first development teams. And it's a growth engine in the resource sourcing quadrant. Why? Because it's not specific to certain technology. AI, of course, is a technology, but it's such a huge area that we couldn't say exactly which AI is the best now. We have Claude, we have ChatGPT, we have Cursor, we have lots of different solutions. And therefore, what I see on the market is a trend that companies are looking for people who are AI first, are looking for development teams who are developing with AI first approach. Ready to stop guessing and start building a real growth engine for your software house? This is SHGrowth Podcast, where we give you the battle-tested tools, processes, and case studies to do just that. I'm your host, Matt Gren. One of the interesting growth engines that I want to share with you today is AI first development teams. And it's a growth engine in the resource sourcing quadrant. Why? Because it's not specific to certain technology. AI, of course, is a technology, but it's such a huge area that we couldn't say exactly which AI is the best now. We have Claude, we have ChatGPT, we have Cursor, we have lots of different solutions. And therefore, what I see on the market is a trend that companies are looking for people who are AI first, are looking for development teams who are developing with AI first approach. What does this mean? I have found really interesting company that I want to share with you today. It's called Hatchworks AI, which wrote their own ebook about it. It's available on their link. And they even nailed it as their own trademark, generative driven development. It's a very interesting approach because it introduces holistic approach to introduce AI to the development process. So to defining the requirements, defining the tasks, implementing the tasks, revising the work, doing the whole development process with leveraging AI, not only into coding, but also in teamwork. Yeah. So it's really interesting how they are trying to reshape the development approach. And I think their approach is something worth realizing, that if your software agency is trying to win on the market with AI, of course, you could try different engines here. And I'm not saying that this is the only one that you should think about. Looking from a perspective of adjusting and optimizing the development process from the first touch with the client, where you are maybe transcribing the call, generating from the call dynamically the requirements document, and then using AI, you are in 24 hours, you are able to share a prototype with your client who provides your feedback, records it, and then from the recording, you transcribe it, and dynamically again, the prototype is adjusted. From that moment, this goes to the development pipeline, which is different because it's AI driven. A lot of interesting things. And if you think about software development and leveraging AI, not only to generate the code, to work with your clients, to generate the best product for them, that's the growth engine I'm thinking about. That's why I call it AI first development teams. And I place it into incubation zone. So I think this company, of course, they name different way, but I think they are in that growth engine now, and they are experimenting. And I think it's something worth pursuing by you as well, by other software agencies. So about Growth Engine Radar, this is just one example of a Growth Engine Radar that I would like to share with you today, Growth Engine. And I placed this Growth Engine Radar into the resource sourcing quadrant, into incubation phase. And I think I will monitor, of course, how the situation changes, and if there are any software agencies who are following this pattern and this growth engine, I will let you know. Okay, the third finding I have to share with you today is connected with the growth engine, but it's more about the data behind it. Yeah. So Of course, I can claim now that this is interesting growth engine with AI first development teams, but it's important to understand the data behind it. And what I wanted to share with you is some interesting observations on the market, especially in the juniors developers market, which is companies strictly say that we shouldn't hire people before we don't check if someone else couldn't do that job with AI. And of course, when we look into juniors and into the quality of the code generated by AI, we could sometimes claim that AI generates equal or even better code. And that's one of the reasons why companies are so hesitant in hiring juniors. I actually have this experience firsthand. In Poland, I'm living in Gdańsk, we have really strong universities, and I was approached by my colleagues with a question, do I have some internship program for IT students from third year? Because there are several of them and they can't find internship, free internship. So they don't get paid for it. And they have to have this internship because that's our Polish regulation for IT universities. And they cannot find companies who are willing to pick them. It was not something possible 2 or 3 years ago. 2 or 3 years ago, we had several paid internships. There were companies, fighting for new juniors because they wanted to upskill them. And of course, as software agency business goes, there are the cheapest developers in the company. So if you upskill them fast, you can deliver value to your clients and have the best margin on the hourly rate. This is not the reality now. The juniors are not anymore in search in the market, neither by software agencies nor by the companies that are looking for engineers. Therefore, this market collapsed and there are really few junior jobs available. However, there is one area where AI is important, and actually this is AI where juniors can learn how to use AI to build their competences and become AI engineers. What I wanted to say is, because this is actually from my also direct experience, is if you are a junior engineer student, you should really think about becoming proficient in using AI in automation, in, of course, generating in vibe coding, but also in automation. And it's a really interesting article about it, written by Wade Foster, who is a CEO of Zapier. And he wrote on Twitter lately that he will hire for any position in his company, he will hire anyone for AI automation engineer role. And it's not only about Zapier. I see that companies are having a struggle inside to convince engineers, the existing senior developers or tech leads, to switch to AI first development. They have some problems with that. Of course, realistically, looking from their perspective, it's a huge new tool set that they have to learn while still maintaining the code base that was written in old way. So resistance is understandable. On the other hand, the company wants to introduce AI heavily into the development team. And therefore, I see it firsthand that companies even hire juniors to teach them AI so they can, have time, they can learn from online resources, but for their own business case and build internally their skill set from juniors. And I think this is extremely valuable insight for every software house and for this AI first development teams that perhaps using juniors for that reason, so that they will learn, have very fast how to leverage AI, will allow you as a software agency to build your AI first development teams much faster than from your existing developers, because they are not so open to gain this experience, because they like their own previous way of developing. There are many reasons. So I wanted to share this last insight with you, but as a cherry on the top, I really recommend you to listen to Y Combinator channel on YouTube. And it's an interesting video about state-of-the-art prompting for AI agents. I actually, in my Miro, I have a transcription of this conversation. And it's really interesting to understand it from the perspective of, such companies that are building AI tools and learning that and building your skills inside in your own competences, your engineering team with these competences is a really interesting investment. And it again aligned with this AI first development team's growth engine that I was explaining to you a few minutes ago. I do think that this is extremely interesting area for every software agency to consider. And the market for these competences is huge. What I would say is important is to not focus on specific AI tooling. Rather, I would focus on this state-of-the-art prompting approach and focus on how leverage all of these tools in delivering software rapidly faster. So thank you for today. These are all my findings that I have to share with you for this week. I wish you a great weekend and seeing each other in the next episode.
For more content on Software House Growth, visit SHGrowth on Substack at shgrowth.com. You will find the Miro decks featured in this episode, plus in-depth explainer articles.